And Fred loved cops, and we'd get off of swing shift, and we'd get in there about 11 o'clock. He'd shut it down about 1, and he'd keep bringing us chili and pitchers of beer, and we'd watch Three Stooges reruns on his TV until about
awesome.
3 in the morning, and then we'd all.
It's better than going down to the Union Hall.
Oh yeah, no, it was a lieutenant. For me, lieutenant was the worst position. It was, you had loads of work, and you were stuck in the middle. You know, you basically you were just the conduit for management to. Passing on bad news, usually downhill, and you didn't really have much interaction with the troops, and you didn't really have much interaction with management. So
kind of no man's land.
You were just kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah, I could see that. One of these guys, but he said that he had to stand on a bench in order to pat him down. He was so big.
I believe it. You want my honest opinion? I think a police chief that would allow those things to happen in their town and not protect the public should be gone. Yeah. They should just be gone.
If you could bottle, what'd you call that? I take it as it comes?
Yeah.
God, I need a lot of that in my life.
I think there's a lot to be said for it.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I just feel just like the motor's just always,
And that's part of what that job does to you, though. I mean, you've got to be on top every day you go to work.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to not
It's hard to turn that off.
Yes. So we're rolling whenever? Okay.
Okay.
Well, welcome into Frontline Outfitting's podcast for this week. The guest this week is Thad Buchanan, a good friend, and actually a really good mentor in a lot of ways, a guy that's been around the block in the law enforcement and just life world. So glad to have you, Thad.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this should be fun. Shoot. How many years in law enforcement did you work?
27.
27. So we'll back up because it's curious. I have a lot of questions about Eugene and just what it was like to live in Eugene through some of those years. But where'd you grow up? Where'd you grow up? Where'd your life start?
I actually grew up in Southern Oregon, down below south of Roseburg.
Yeah.
In Southern Douglas County. And I actually started my police career there with the Myrtle Creek Police Department. I was there about a year and then went to Eugene.
Okay. That'd been small.
Yeah, it was small.
How far away is Myrtle Creek and Drain? They're pretty close, aren't they?
What would that be? That would be probably 45 minutes.
Huh. I had a friend named Brian that I used to work with. He was in Myrtle Creek, and before I had met him, I'd never even been down there.
Never knew the town existed.
Yeah.
It's easy to miss.
Yeah. Okay. Where'd you grow up though? Did you grow up in Myrtle Creek?
Yeah.
And what high school did you go to in school?
South Umpqua.
South Umpqua. Okay.
Yeah.
So how old were you? Because, what's your DPSST number?
11019.
If anybody doesn't know, that's really low. I'm 40317. So, and I think mine's low, but that's pretty low.
Yeah, it's pretty low. Although a good friend of mine who was also worked for Eugene PD, his dad was number 15.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Who, before Department of Public, DPSST started governing all that, where did people get their numbers, do you think? Or was it
I don't know. Back when I went through, it was called BPST, Board on Police Standards and Training.
Yep.
And I don't know, several years later they changed it, but and they changed the location. It used to be, where was it?
It was Independence. Before Independence?
Before Independence, yeah. They moved it to Independence in the 70s, and before that it was.
Was it Riots?
No, it wasn't Riots, but it was an old military camp, and I just can't remember the name of it now.
Interesting.
It's so long ago. That's the first time I'd thought about it in decades.
Knocking the dust off of that, huh?
Yeah, I started in 78.
Okay.
Everybody was carrying revolvers.
Do you have a special place in your heart for wheel guns?
They're fun to shoot, but I was so glad when we went to semi-autos.
I bet.
I hated trying to get a speed loader in those things when you're under pressure.
I worked at the state pen. You had to call on both because there was in the tower, there was a Glock and a speed revolver.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, man, this has got to suck in a real gunfight, like trying to use a speed loader. And there was people that were good at it.
Yeah.
But wow. Okay, so you started at Myrtle Creek, and then what year did you go to Eugene?
79.
1979. Now I was 5 years old.
And good to know.
Yeah, there you go. That's cool. What took you to Eugene? Just bigger agency, or?
Well, that's where I wanted to be. I'd been up there going to school, and I ran out of money, left school, and went and got a job. And I was down in Southern California working in the fleet department of a big GMC dealership. And there was a guy there part-time who was also a reserve in Inglewood. And I hated sales. I didn't really like California, and I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And he goes, you should try police work, man. It's a hoot. And I knew I wasn't going to make it in sales. So I left California and I came back, and I thought, you know, what the heck, I'll give it a try. So I went for a ride along with Myrtle Creek PD. And even in that little town, just spending one shift in a patrol car, I walked out of there knowing that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
It just hit me.
Huh. That's really good.
Yeah,
so a good start to your career.
It was a good start. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, going from not having a clue to what you were going to do. And then a few hours later, it's a done deal.
Yeah. And I don't think I'm like I don't think you're super old either, but I just don't think when I was younger, I didn't have like a real, like the career path. Like it was really hard to think about, like, what am I going to do for a job?
I know.
And I was a sports guy, so I liked team stuff, and anything in public service kind of works because, there's some structure,
right? Which
we all like structure, right? Or if you do that, and then, if it's a team thing. So I don't know. I didn't know what I wanted to do either.
Yeah, it was just, I went to school with guys that they just knew. I mean, they were already preparing for a future, for a specific career. And I was just lost.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I didn't even go to the first year out of high school. I didn't even go to college. I waited a year just trying to make a decision. And then I finally tried school, and I did that for a couple of years and went broke and had to leave.
Where did you go? Did you go to Oregon, or did you go to Lane?
I went to Lane. I went to OSU for one term, and then I moved to Eugene, and I spent, I think, about 5 semesters in Eugene, and then went broke.
You never went to UCLA then?
No.
It's University of Chemeketa on Lancaster.
No, never did that one. In fact, I only lasted in California 6 months.
I'm kidding. I was talking about Chemeketa.
Oh, Chemeketa.
UCLA was the old term of University of Chemeketa on Lancaster.
Oh, okay. Okay. I gotcha.
No, not the actual Bruins.
Yeah.
When you were in Eugene, did you ever go down to, what's the name of that bar? It's an old place. It's super cool. My buddy's parents worked at Max's.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go to Max's much?
On calls.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think I had a couple of beers in there, but
yeah,
we didn't really go. That was more over toward the campus scene.
Yeah.
We didn't really hang out over there. When we were off duty, there was a little bar in the Whitaker neighborhood, which was kind of a blue collar, kind of rough little neighborhood, but there was a bar there called the Tiny Tavern.
Okay.
And it was this really old building but it was really clean, and the bartender's name was Fred, and Fred loved cops. And we'd get off of swing shift, and we'd get in there about 11 o'clock. He'd shut it down about 1, and he'd keep bringing us chili and pitchers of beer, and we'd watch Three Stooges reruns on his TV until about
awesome.
3 a.m, and then we'd all.
It's better than going down to the Union Hall.
Oh yeah, no, it was a great time. So that was kind of the hangout, and then the other place down around 3rd and Ferry, there was a bar called the Bavarian, kind of a German themed place. And that was another place that we go after work a lot.
Where did Tim Burr hang out?
You know, I don't know. I don't know. He was a firefighter.
I know. PIO forever too.
I know he was, but that's when we were
young.
DPST and we were Department of Public Safety and Standards and Training. Gosh, my mind is going on me. We were a public safety department, you know, so they merged
combined,
police and fire. And Tim came over for the fire side and was PIO for both agencies. So I knew him a little bit socially, but I didn't really drink with him. I don't think I could have kept up with him.
Yeah, he's still a lot of fun to be around. Yeah, he's going to be on here at some point, but got to get his wildlife documented for sure.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. So what was Eugene like in the, so if you went there, you started there in 79. What was what year was Prefontaine there and stuff? Is he before that or 80s?
He had died just a few years before I got there. I think he died around 75 or something.
Okay. What was Eugene like in the 80s? Was it a cool place?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I loved it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot going on. It wasn't, I mean, there was always that, you know, that kind of liberal background out there, but there was still a lot of the sawmill town left in it, you know, and a lot of regular people, and it was just fun.
Yeah. No, I've always liked going down there. I like Eugene.
Yeah, I can't do it anymore.
Well, no, it's changed a lot.
It has. So have I.
Tracktown Pizza's the same though. I was there not too long ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Did you ever go to Pegasus?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I always liked their pizza. It was good. First time I ever got I went there. My buddy and I were on a football recruiting trip, and we had pizza there, and it was a good time. But so you went to Eugene PD. How long were you an officer before you promoted?
Let's see. I think I got my first promotion. I got promoted to agent, which is a corporal, basically, two-striper.
Yeah.
In 87. And then sergeant in 90. And then lieutenant in 95 and captain, I think, in 97.
And then what year were you El Jefe, the chief? Don't say it with so much excitement.
2002 and 2003.
Yeah. And you were let's back up. Well, of all your ranks, just, you know, I hear, and I'm a sergeant, so a lot of people, you know, I hear, but I feel like the sergeant's like the best gig.
I think it probably is. Yeah. I think it is. Lieutenant, for me, lieutenant was the worst position. It was, you had loads of work and you were stuck in the middle. You know, you basically, you were just the conduit for management to passing on bad news, usually downhill. And you didn't really have much interaction with the troops, and you didn't really have much interaction with management. So
kind of no man's land.
You were just kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then when they decided they were going to do the community policing thing, you know, they broke the town up into sectors, and each patrol lieutenant had a sector that you kind of managed. So you were going to these community meetings and stuff like that. And that's when it really started getting less about police work and more about politics and
agendas.
Yeah.
What was your favorite shift to work? Like, who's your best crew as a sergeant?
I liked graveyard. It kicked my butt, but I liked working graveyard. And after that, it was probably swing. I didn't really like days.
Yeah. It
was just too.
It's different.
Yeah, it was just kind of, you know, shoplifters
Cold
and
thefts.
Right.
Parking complaints, traffic complaints. Yep.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So, did you ever go to detectives?
Well, I went to Narcotics in 87, and I came out when I got promoted to sergeant in 90. Then a year later, they sent me back to run the unit, and I did that for 4 years, got promoted to lieutenant, and came out.
Okay. So in your time, let's say even officer or as a detective or supervising it, what did you have anything big, or did you have anything that you felt that was a huge win in your career? You probably had some big stuff go on.
You mean in terms of
just work? Like, do you have any big cases that were huge things to solve?
Probably one of the most satisfying things I got to do is when I got promoted to lieutenant, and they brought me out of narcotics, and they were going to send me to special ops. Mm-hmm. But before they did that, they gave me 90 days. They wanted me to put a street crimes team together and go down and work the Whitaker neighborhood, because it was just had become overrun with street dealers and prostitution and that sort of thing. So we basically did a 3-month sting down there where we were just doing undercover buys and filming everything and documenting it and taking pictures and working the hookers, working the johns. And in that 90-day period, we made like 121 felony arrests.
Jeez.
It was fun.
That's pretty good.
It was fun.
That's awesome. Well, that's cool. I'm going to probably bump off here for a second. I was just thinking about, after you said that, what about the sports life, and who's the most famous football player or athlete you've arrested in Eugene? Because I know that there's had to have been somebody.
I don't think I ever actually arrested an athlete. We got there, a lot of times we got there after the fact, after some poor schmuck had the daylights beat out of him in a bar fight, but
yeah.
I don't think I ever arrested a U of O athlete.
Huh.
It happened.
I worked with this guy, and he worked at Lane County, and he said that he had, Haloi Nada came and picked up one of these guys, but he said that he had to stand on a bench in order to pat him down. He was so big.
I believe it.
And he was just like, "Hey, man, I really need you to be cool.
Yeah.
Haloi Nada's out here to pick you up, but we just got to get you through the process." It was pretty funny to listen to this story about him, but yeah. It's funny to think about, you could say Bend and Eugene. I know they're not the same, but just in, cities, but it's incredible to think about how many incredible athletes have gone through have been in that town of Eugene.
Yeah. I belong to the downtown athletic club, and I mean, it was not uncommon to have an Olympic athlete in the gym working out or seeing an Olympic runner running down the street.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just a place to train.
Yeah.
And I think that's really neat. And it's funny because a lot of people, are you familiar with Cameron Haynes?
No.
He's a bow hunter, but he's also the dude's a beast. He runs marathons and all this kind of stuff. But, is it the rock? Are you aware of the rock that people run up to, the trail? Do you know of that? That's down there somewhere in Eugene or somewhere. And I don't know if it's the Prefontaine rock. Is there a trail?
Yeah. There's
or something like that.
There's a street, and there's probably a foot trail. Actually,
it's goes up in the mountains.
It's up. It's
hills.
up. I can't remember the name of the park now, but there's a park up there, and there was a running path that you could take up, and the rock that pre-hit is right on a really sharp corner, and it's just a big boulder with a flat face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is up on a deal at the top of the mountain, and it's on a pedestal, and it's got a stone or whatever. People get up on this thing. Anyway, I was going to say that because even, this guy, Cameron Haynes, who, he's quite an influencer stuff. He's a pretty neat guy. He's brought a lot of people to like the bow rack in Eugene, and he runs a podcast called Lift, Run, Shoot, and it's all about bow hunting and stuff. But he's had, everybody from Jelly Roll to Joe Rogan, and all these people who he's bringing into Eugene is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just, and Eugene's a unique place, and
it is.
And
it is.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful city, and I think if I didn't know so much about it, it'd be a great place to live.
Yeah.
But for me, it got to the point where I actually moved out of Eugene into Springfield just so I could leave town when I got off work.
Yeah, I see. I totally get that. Yeah. Okay, so when you promoted a lieutenant, how long did you spend as a lieutenant?
I think it was, oh man, what was that? It was 2 or 3 years. I don't remember exactly now, but I got promoted in 95, and I think, let's see, it was probably in 98 when I got promoted to captain, so about 3 years.
So when you went to lieutenant, is that when you took over MRT and SWAT and all of that?
Yeah, I was a special operations lieutenant, and then it was like a subset of patrol, and then it got big enough that they made it its own division, and I became the division captain.
Wow. That's pretty good.
It was a good assignment. When you're working with guys that are part of special teams like that, they're usually committed and motivated, and they're good.
Yep.
Yeah. So it made the job easy in that respect. But, the other thing that was going on about then is about 96 or 97, the anarchists came to town, and that was a whole new deal. And I spent probably 70 or 80% of my time dealing with those guys once they got there.
Whole nother animal.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's,
3 or 4
SWAT you're dealing with usually one barricaded subject.
Right. Yeah.
And then you get them
1,500.
Right.
Blocking the street.
Yeah. And what was kind of the thing, would you say, in that time? I'm trying to think, you saying that's like 95. What was going on in the world that would have, what about did anything come up with, I know it was big in Seattle, was it the summit, or do you remember the trade? Remember
the
that?
G8?
Yes. Wasn't that in Seattle?
Yeah.
That all took off?
Yeah.
But I don't think that was 95, it was a little earlier.
Well, no, actually, see, we were already having all sorts of problems down in Eugene. And when the G8 came along, we told them, you better buckle up, because it's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I don't think they really believed us.
That's good.
So
when you still could, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Gittins are good back in the 80s for sure, 90s, but nowadays it's pretty.
Yeah.
So let's talk about MRT for a second. What do you, when you look at the civil disturbances and riots now, what do you think about that? Could you imagine not having that control to where it is now? It's a lot different.
You want my honest opinion? I think a police chief that would allow those things to happen in their town and not protect the public should be gone.
Yeah.
They should just be gone. And even if the council or the mayor or whoever is against it, they still have a job to do.
Yeah.
And if they're not doing it, they should just be gone.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to watch.
It was ridiculous what they did to that city, and what they did to Portland it's just sad.
Yeah. Yep. Well, my former sheriff that I worked for at Washington County, we used to go down there all the time, but he finally just said, we're not going down there anymore because of the same thing.
Right.
It's just prosecuting our arrests and stuff.
And to be a cop in that position, to put your people in that position is unforgivable.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're asking them to do not the impossible, but up darn near, and then with a smile on your face. It's kind of weird. Yeah. And I went to a summit in Portland in like February. It's been a year ago, February, but they're still getting sued. They lost their entire team except about 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
And like the aftermath of it from 2020 is incredible.
Yeah.
What it left. And they're trying to rebuild stuff back up again, but people are just, it's a tough thing.
Yeah. I don't really pay that much attention to what's going on out there in the world, but my understanding is that there's still commercial buildings down there that are empty, office buildings that are half full.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand how that happens.
Okay, so you were lieutenant, and then so you've held you've been in detectives. You did special operations teams. Did you ever oversee motors or anything like that? Did you guys have a motor?
That was part of special operations. The motor team was in special ops.
Okay.
So it was it was narcotics, canines, the motors, MRT, SWAT, and we had sort of a kind of an ad hoc air operations.
Oh.
So that was mine.
And you enjoyed that?
I did, yeah.
It's good. Yeah. Well, they took you from that, and then you promoted to captain?
Well,
voluntold?
I was, it was a field promotion, I guess you'd say. But then I came out of special ops. I needed a break. So I came out of special ops, and they gave me investigations. And at that point, I had 4 years to go, and I'm thinking, okay, this is it, man. I can do my job right here and be happy and make it to the end. And I was in there a year when the city manager approached me because the police chief then was retiring, and he approached me about being the chief, and I said no. And I said no for about 3 weeks, and then it finally became clear to me, I guess, that it was something I needed to do, and not because I wanted to do it, because I needed to do it. So, but I didn't put in for the permanent job. I never wanted it. It was supposed to be a 6-month to 1 year assignment, and it was 2 years and 3 days. And I counted every one of them.
When you look back on it, are you, for the reasons you did it for, are you glad you did it for those reasons?
Yeah, I am. But I still would have rather not had to do it.
It's interesting because I'm just going through a couple sheriffs, recently for us, but I wonder, I'm putting myself in the guy's shoes that work there and the gals, and think about the Thad Buchanan that I know. And if you didn't want to do that, a lot of times the person that doesn't want to do that is the person to do that, for the reasons of probably why you didn't want to do it. Your core, your moral compass, all the good things about you.
Well, probably, I guess the good thing for me about it was the fact that I didn't want the job kind of made me bulletproof, and that I could kind of stand my ground when there was pressure from, the council or the community or whatever. Yeah. If I thought we were right, we were right.
Yeah.
And I won't say that I didn't make mistakes or didn't make some decisions that I would have liked to have made differently, looking back on it. But just the fact that I didn't want the job put me in a position where I didn't feel like there was anything at stake.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Well, what would you say from police chief to Myrtle Creek officer? What would you tell that Thad from what you know now? Would you say anything to him? Oh
yeah. I say you're an idiot for working in the town you grew up in. Because I had a lot of interesting conversations on the job with guys I grew up with. I remember one night I stopped this car over, and I knew everybody in the car. I'd gone, since I was a little kid, except for this one guy. And I ran him, and he had a warrant, so
sure,
off we went.
Sorry, bud.
And I no more than get him booked and put in the back than one of the guys from the car that I knew really well. He's standing out on the sidewalk yelling at me for me to come out. So I go out there, and we're in this screaming, pushing match, pushing each other back and forth and calling each other names and stuff. And, it was fine. Yeah. I mean, he was just letting off steam, and he was pissed. I was pissed. But for those reasons like that, it wasn't fun,
Yeah. What would you say the greatest thing that you could take away from that job? What's the best thing you took away from that entire career?
I think just learning about human nature. Learning, being able to look at people and kind of study them and figure out who they are, what they're about, and understanding what people are capable of doing to each other.
Yeah, for sure. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without going into that, that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. What helped you get through your career?
Well, probably the turning point for me was faith. You know, I kind of got to a point where it was like, you got to make a decision, you know, and you're probably either going to crash and burn if you don't. And I guess you could say I'd always believed, but I wasn't really pursuing anything or being
living up to your potential.
Yeah. So, and I think that's what kind of changed things for me and got me through it and out of it.
Yeah. What did your family mean to you in that whole career?
I wasn't exactly a success in that department. You know, it was, the job in a lot of ways was hard for me, and I was really committed to it. You know, I was all in on SWAT. You know, that was what I really wanted to do, and I was all in on the job, and it just became too important, I think, and my family paid the price. I ended up, you know, getting a divorce. My oldest son was 9, and the little one was 5, and it was hard on all of us, but it took years to kind of mend those relationships.
It's very taxing.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, it was me. It was all me.
Yeah.
They, you know, my ex-wife hadn't done anything wrong. My boys were great. I loved them like crazy. Yeah. But I was at that time. I think I was so self-centered and self-absorbed that I was just going to do what I was going to do.
Okay, so I have a question about that because I always like to think about this, and so you're talking about that, and we get in this job, you get focused on performance, and you leave all these other things unattended, and things happen. And I talk about fractures and stuff like that, but since you've been from an officer all the way to the chief, what do you think we do in an agency that drives people? Because I think, this is just my personal opinion, I think that an agency has a lot to do with, they're not to blame, but they, by golly, have a lot of stake in that person, guy or gal, in their success, in their marriage and home life.
Yeah, and
in how we use them.
Yeah, I think you and I have talked a little bit about that before, and I think that, you know, over time, people recognize, you know, management recognizes people that can get the job done.
Yep, 100%.
And they just dump on them.
Yep.
And they just keep piling it on, keep piling it on. And the only, you know, at least for me, really the only way to get through that was to focus on the job. And even that at work, it was triage. It was like, that doesn't cut it. I'll do this. I can get that done, but that doesn't rise to the level of my attention at this point.
No, right. Yeah.
So I think that has a lot to do with it, because that kind of stress of the workload and then dealing with the stuff that comes on top of that. And I actually hate, you know, especially when I was in special ops, I hated going on vacation because I knew there was nobody there doing the work while I was gone. It was just there piling up.
Yep.
And when I got back, I was going to have to dig myself out. And that would take, you know, weeks.
It was worth it not go on vacation than to be in that position.
Yeah, and it made it hard to enjoy vacation. You know, it takes, you know, 2, 3, 4 days to kind of decompress, and then you got a few good days, and then you're have all this anxiety about going back. So it's not it's not all that good.
No, I agree. It's funny you say that because it does like that. It happens for everybody. And it's funny that
I'm sure
the process of winding down, enjoying yourself, and then the stress of like, crap, I got to go back. I don't know. What was your, I was going to ask you about, was the Eugene M's down there at the time?
Oh, yeah.
Are they still there? Do you think, or are they gone, or is it a different,
my understanding is that they're playing, the stadium burned down, M Stadium burned down, but I heard that they were playing at the U of O field, at the Duck Field.
Oh.
But I also heard that maybe this was their last year. I'm not 100% about that, but.
What would you tell people, young cops, I just say public service, and even veterans, because they're, people are enlisting in the military and starting these jobs in this time now. What would you tell them? What are some maybe a couple, 3 things that you would tell them to keep their life in check with A, B, or C?
Keep a balance. Try and have a balanced life where you've got as much. Put your family first and spend time with them, and let the job be second. And when you're there, give it your all.
Yep.
But even then, sometimes you just got to say no.
Yeah.
Say, I can't do that. And that's not always easy. And nobody really likes to say no if they're used to getting the job done.
Yeah. How about faith? I know you're a big faith guy.
Yeah, it was. I think it's critical.
What's that mean to you?
I think it's critical because it keeps you. It's like an anchor, it keeps you from drifting away.
Yeah.
And for me, it kept me centered. It opened my eyes up to a lot of stuff. It opened my eyes up to who I was, and how I needed to be different.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I was drinking hard and I was single for about 5 years, and I was living hard.
Snapping necks and cashing checks.
And then, then it just kind of hit me right in the face that something had to change.
Yeah. What kind of tradition does Eugene? It's funny. It's for where it's at. I feel like Eugene is you guys were even in the fire department, very good about adopting the East Coast way, or at least vibe. And maybe this is some of Tim, but the fire department, and I don't know about the police department, but the fire department, I know even 25 years ago, Tim kind of talked about just how they did stuff. Was kind of very East Coasty, and I don't know if there is a vibe like that there.
I never saw it in the police side. Maybe it was there in the fire department. I don't know, but I think we were clearly a West Coast agency. I spent some time back in the East when I went to the National Academy, and I spent a lot of time around those guys, and I saw a lot of the tradition, and I think they hold true to tradition a lot stronger than West Coast agencies.
100%.
And we just, I don't know, we never really held on to tradition that tightly. But since I've left, my understanding is now that they, as you can tell, I never go back, so I don't really know. But I've been told they have kind of like a EPD museum.
Oh, a museum.
Yeah, I think it's right there in the department. It's not very big, but. So I think they've tried to bring some of the tradition back into it.
Yeah.
But when I was there, it was not like that. And we got, when they made us a public safety department, that was a very calculated move by the city manager because we'd had some really strong-willed police chiefs, and I think he was just tired of dealing with that. Mm-hmm. So when he got rid of the last one, he blended the police and fire, and he put the police department under the direction of a fire chief.
And how did that go? Was it good?
No.
Okay.
It castrated the department, and it totally. If you want my opinion, it sucked the soul right out of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, because they have more of those in Florida, but never been around one. Like Miami-Dade, I think they're both, aren't they? Maybe not, but some of those, yeah. But a public safety department, it's interesting.
Well, it was very calculated. There was a reason behind it, and it was like that until. Let's see, when did that happen? I don't really remember. I think it was probably in the early 90s.
So did you take turnout gear and put it in your trunk?
No,
because that's what a lot of these places do. We weren't cross trained. If you're out working patrol and a structure fire pops, and there's nothing going on, you just roll up to it and throw your gear on, and the engine shows up and you're another body.
No, neither department was ever cross trained.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was just
sort of the name.
It was and it was just
management,
and it was literally a way to take power away from the police department.
Gotcha.
And, when I got there, in '79, it was an amazing agency.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the police chief was Pierce Brooks. He was a retired LAPD captain. He'd written a couple of books. He wrote Officer Down Code 3, and he wrote the Onion Field, a case that he worked. And I mean, we were just on the cutting edge technology wise for that era.
Sure.
And it was a well run agency, and it was just a ball.
Oh, that's cool.
You go out there at night and you just got the job done, and you knew you were supported, and that was it. It was simple.
Yeah.
And then later on, especially by the time we got to be a public safety agency, it got pretty wishy-washy because there was nobody really in charge. We had deputy chiefs that were cops, but they didn't really have the ability to do a whole lot, to make a meaningful difference.
Mm-hmm.
And in the council, we always had about half the council that were never fans of the police department. They were pretty far left.
Yeah.
And so that kind of worked against us. But
wow.
Yeah, it was a downhill ride.
Well, I mean, it's pretty cool. I went to Mac Court several times with my buddy Jeff when we go to basketball games down there, and that thing had just to be
the pit,
the pit, yeah, it would just be
yeah.
I just think it's a neat place, and you really don't get to chat with someone who has the experience from who's literally held every rank, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I honestly, I think I always tried to view that job, the chief's job, as temporary. So I never really.
Oh, it's written down somewhere. I'll guarantee you it is.
I know, but I just, it wasn't like, I was ordained. You're now the chief of police, permanently.
Sure.
So it was.
I got it.
It was just kind of a ad hoc deal or a temporary deal. So it just, I don't know. It just seemed different to me.
So you retire. What are you doing in your retirement? What do you do most?
Oh, I've done a lot of things. And I really think it's important to stay busy, but probably my big hobby was bird hunting. And then, as a cop, sort of as a hobby, I was making custom knives. So then when I retired, I decided I was going to do that as a little side business. Mm-hmm. And so we started going to knife shows and traveling around and stuff. Yeah. And selling knives,
That's cool.
I did that for about 12 years.
Okay, so how many years have you been retired? Roughly.
Coming up on 21.
Okay, so
21 in December.
It's amazing because you beat the odds.
Yeah.
Because the current stats are, I think it's 4 years. Really? Somewhere between 3 and 4 years you die. But it's the same thing that, it's when you get hired, right? They're like, oh, don't buy a house. Don't do this. Don't do that. And then they're telling you that you're going to die in 3 years after you retire. Well, I've started to figure out that, okay, I don't think I'm that person because I don't drink excessively. I don't smoke. I don't work night shift anymore for right now. Yeah. There's so many factors that go into all these things, the stats where you die. And I just think, so you're a testament of you made it.
I did. And I think part of it was just when I got out, I did everything I could do to try and purge myself of that.
Sure. That
time, and I think that's part of the reason I have a hard time remembering some things about it now, because I just kind of compartmentalized it and pushed
Chapter
it to
of
the
your
back.
life you closed.
Yeah. And then I just tried to have fun when I got out.
Yeah.
But I do remember I retired in December, and I remember sitting in the house. I think it was like April, and it was raining out, and I got out of there as soon as I retired. We moved over here 3 weeks after I retired, so I'm sitting out in my house outside of Prineville, and I just remember like just this big sigh and go, I never have to go back. It's real.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And that was like the beginning, I think, of kind of what I would call my recovery. And that's what it is. I mean, you have to heal from that job.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Do you play much golf?
I tried it. Not my game. I don't have
You're better than I am.
I don't have the patience for it.
At least you don't have to worry about hitting. I mean, I didn't hit any houses when I played with you, so that was good.
I can't hit the ball that far, so I can't reach a house.
Jeez. Huh. Okay. What's on your agenda for the next? What's your next 3-year goals? In the next 3 years, you got any big goals, or you just gonna keep doing your Jimmy Buffett lifestyle?
There's nothing wrong with Jimmy Buffett.
I didn't say there was. I just asked him if you're gonna keep living to the Vida Loca over there.
Yeah, I just I kind of tend to take things as they come, and I try not to get too excited about things, and I honestly don't plan that far into the future. I just kind of, I know what I like doing. Like right now, I've got this old Land Rover, and I've been dinking around with that for the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And before I was flying, I did that for a few years and decided, okay, I've done that. It's time to get rid of the airplane. And so I sold the airplane, and I bought this old Land Rover, and I've been working on that. And I'll probably just tinker around with that. And
yeah, you caught me off guard the first couple of times in that thing. I'm pretty sure that's Dad. But yeah. Huh. If you could bottle, what'd you call that? I take it as it comes?
Yeah.
God, I need a lot of that in my life.
I think there's a lot to be said for it.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I just feel just like the motor's just always,
And that's part of what that job does to you, though. I mean, you've got to be on top every day you go to work.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to not
It's hard to turn that off.
Yes.
You get 2 or 3 days off. You don't just turn it off.
No. Yeah. Land Rover.
Yeah.
That's what I have horses, so that's what I'm doing. But
I did that too.
Yeah. See, I'll be good. You've done well. You've moved all through these things that you've tried in retirement. That's pretty good. That's really good.
Yeah.
And you're happy.
Yeah.
You're always in a good mood when I see you. You're not poopy pants, which is nice.
Yeah. No reason not to be happy. I got a lot to be thankful for,
No, I think it's a testament to tell people that, I mean, it is real that there is life after the job. That's for sure.
It is what you make it. And, actually a lot of the guys that I worked with have done really well doing stuff after work and stuff. A lot of them are just avid fishermen. One guy, he was an avid sailor during his career. When he retired, he and his wife sold their house. They bought a sailboat, and they sailed around the Caribbean for a few years.
Jeez.
And just
enjoyed it.
Yeah, they were living a real Jimmy Buffett life.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm going to be retired for like 15 years before Katie retires. So I'm going to have to figure it out.
Enjoy it. Rub it in her face.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I hope so. I don't want to get lonely though either, or bored.
You won't. Trust me, you will not. You will not. If I get ticked now, it's usually because I have more than one thing I have to do during the day.
Well, that's pretty good. I'll take that. I did tell her though I wanted to. She's got this funny thing about being a cash register. She wants to work at a store, work at a cash register. I don't know why. I'm like, you're a college professor. But I told her, I'm going to do it for a bit, but I want to pour beer at Wild Ride in Prideville.
There you go. Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Say hi to people, smile. I don't know.
And now that you mentioned that was a big thing for me when I started making knives and going to knife shows. It was almost shocking to me to have a cordial interaction with people that appreciated what you did, and the fact that they were willing to pay money for something that you made. For the first couple of years, that just blew my mind.
Yeah,
and
everybody's not a dirtbag.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you'd get that same satisfaction out of pouring beer and just being a bartender that talks to people.
Boom. Yeah, because I can't make mixed drinks, but I could, all those taps, I could get it right. Yeah. Okay.
That'd probably be fun.
Well, Thad, we're going to wrap it up, buddy. Like I said, I appreciate you coming on. This has been
it's been good.
Awesome, and I appreciate you, and thank you for sharing your story, and
sure.
Enjoy that life, buddy.
I'll do my best.
Okay. Go Ducks?
Whatever's left. Sure.
Okay, go Ducks.
Yeah.